American Teen is about one senior year of high school for 4 teenagers that are from different social groups, different economic groups. There's the very popular Queen Bee, Megan, and there's the kind of arty rebel Hannah, and the socially awkward but lovable Jake, and the basketball star Colin. And they're all going through very dramatic stories. It's a tough time in life, and it really explores the challenges of being 17. I had always thought the Midwest, because there's an innocence and a timelessness about that part of the country. And I wanted it to be in a town that only had one high school, so it was a real pressure cooker socially. You couldn't escape from whatever social clique or reality that you were given. And I wanted it to be in a town that was economically mixed. I was hoping for racial mixture, but it was really hard to find in small towns in the Midwest. And it needed to be a school that would be excited about the prospect of us doing a film there. So we cold called hundreds of schools that sort of fit the demographic. We found 10 that were really interested in doing it in 3 states. And over the summer before filming, I visited all those schools and interviewed all the incoming seniors that were interested, which was like 35–40% of the class. And, you know, every school had great subjects and great stories, but this school had the most all in one place. What I found, you know, it's interesting because a lot of times at these schools you get the more confident, popular people that turn up, and the underdogs tend to think you're not interested in them, or they might show up and they're just kind of angry and bitter. And this school was not the case. I mean, even the underdogs showed up and they were quirky and interesting, and, you know, knew that I was interested in them, and were not bitter. You know, they had a lot of self-doubts and a lot of problems, but it was just different, and it was hard to find that. And this school had that. I did end up making the film I originally thought I was going to make. You know, to me, the theme or the subtext is really about how hard it is at 17 to figure out who you are, because you have all this pressure from your peers to be a certain way and label you, and this image that you feel that you have to give off that might not really describe who you are. And then you have very important decisions to make about your future, which are often ill-informed because you don't know anything of what to expect. And then you have pressure from your parents about making those kind of decisions, and they, just for your own interests, think one thing that you may not agree with at all. So through all of that, you're trying to figure out who you are, and it's like almost impossible. The narratives, you know, I wanted to find these stories that you see so often in high school that I experienced, and then you even see them in movies and fiction films, you know, like the Romeo and Juliet story, or the triumph over adversity, or the underdog trying to, you know, the sort of socially awkward person trying to find acceptance. And you know, and you'd see them in movies like John Hughes movies, but they're great, but there tends to be a one-dimensional manner to a lot of them in fiction. So I knew they got those stories from real life, and I knew they were more complicated in real life, so I wanted to do that. Watching audiences respond to it here has been great. I mean, they love the movie, and people that are watching it seem to really respond, so that's what you do it for, and it's been great.